I woke up that morning expecting to confirm catering times and double-check tuxedo fittings. Instead, I rolled over to an empty side of the bed. Not unusual. She'd sometimes wake early, make coffee, call her mom. But something felt off. The apartment was too quiet. No sound of the kettle, no phone chatter, no humming from the bathroom. I called out her name. Nothing. I checked the kitchen. No mug, no slippers. Her purse was gone. Her laptop. Then the closet. Empty. At first, I thought, maybe a last-minute errand? But it didn't make sense. Her passport was gone. Half the closet hangers were bare. Jewelry case empty. Our wedding binder, the one filled with receipts, contacts, seating charts, gone. My chest tightened as I opened the banking app. Zero. Our joint savings account, the one we'd built for the wedding over 4 years, was completely drained. $38,472. Gone. I didn't panic. I just stood there in our living room, the morning sun casting shadows across the hardwood floor, staring at nothing, the kind of stillness you only feel in a place that used to be full of life. It took me 5 full minutes to even sit down. She was gone. Not late, not mad, not cold feet. Gone. And she took everything with her. The first number I dialed was her mother's. She picked up on the second ring, her voice chipper like nothing was wrong. James. Sweetheart, is everything on track? Big week. I swallowed. Have you heard from Claire? A pause, then a hesitant. Well, no. But you know how she gets. Probably just nerves. Maybe she needed some air. These weddings, stressful. She's gone. I said. Her things, her passport. The wedding account is empty. Silence now then. Oh, well. I'm sure there's a good reason. Maybe she had an emergency. Don't jump to conclusions, honey. I kept my tone even. Did she tell you she was leaving? No. Of course not. Claire wouldn't. James, she loves you. I didn't reply. She filled the silence with excuses. Maybe she just needed a break. Time to think. That's when it clicked. She wasn't surprised. Not really. She was covering. I'm filing a police report, I said. Her voice hardened. Don't overreact. Think of Claire's reputation. This could all be a misunderstanding. I'm done with misunderstandings. I hung up. Texted Claire. You took $38,000 and ran. This isn't cold feet. It's fraud. I'm going to the police. If you have any decency left, turn yourself in. Then I grabbed my keys and drove straight to the station. No panic now, just a quiet, growing fire. She didn't just leave me. She robbed me. The officer at the front desk was polite but skeptical until I showed him the bank statements. Then the mood shifted. I handed over printed screenshots. The withdrawal, timestamped 3:17 a.m. online. I gave him access to our shared account history, photos of our wedding binder, now missing, texts from her family, already starting to dodge my messages. I showed him the guest list, the vendor invoices, the dress receipt. He listened, took notes, called in a detective, Detective Monroe, middle-aged, quiet type, the kind who sees things for what they are. This wasn't cold feet, he said, flipping through the paperwork. This was planned. You said she took her passport? I nodded. She's not just gone. She's running. They filed it as a theft case. Fraudulent withdrawal, possibly identity theft, depending on what else turns up. Then came the hard part. I spent the next 3 hours on the phone with vendors, florist, venue, catering, photographer. Every call started the same. Hey, it's James. Yeah, I'm calling to cancel the wedding. Some were kind, some cold. Most kept the deposits, over $11,000, gone. Every refund refusal felt like a kick to the chest, not because of the money, but because each one made it real. She wasn't coming back. By the time I hung up the last call, the sun was going down, and I was sitting on the floor of our empty apartment, staring at the framed engagement photo on the shelf. I didn't cry. I just sat there, numb, in the ruins of a future that didn't exist anymore. Detective Monroe called 2 days later. We found her, he said. She was picked up in Nevada, tried to book a flight under her maiden name. I didn't respond right away, just exhaled, the first full breath I'd taken in days. They arrested her on charges of grand theft and fraud. She had nearly all the money in a separate account, most of it untouched. Relief, not joy. Just the cold satisfaction of knowing I wasn't crazy, but the pressure started almost immediately. Her mother called, crying, saying I was ruining Claire's life over a misunderstanding. Her sister texted. She panicked. James, you loved her. Can't you just make this go away quietly? Even her father, who once said I was the best thing that ever happened to her, left a voicemail telling me I was being heartless. But I'd made my choice. I replied once to her mother. She made this decision. I'm just responding. Then I blocked every number. No more guilt. No more manipulation. Let them twist themselves into knots. I was done saving people who set fires and called it love. They asked for a meeting. Her father and some sharp-suited lawyer he brought with him. We met in a bland office downtown, the air stale with fake politeness. James, her father started, smoothing his tie. We want to make this right. Claire's been through a lot. This whole thing got out of hand. The lawyer cut in. If you're willing to drop the charges, we can arrange partial restitution, say $20,000. I stared at them across the table, calm, controlled. You think this is about money? Her father raised his hands. We're just trying to avoid a public mess. No one wins in court. I leaned forward. She stole from me, lied to me, left me standing in the wreckage of a life we built together, and you want me to negotiate? Silence. She didn't panic. She planned. And you're here because you're more worried about her reputation than my justice. The lawyer cleared his throat. We just thought. I stood. I'm not here to bargain with thieves. And I walked out, without looking back. It started with vague posts on Facebook. Sometimes the people who seem the kindest are the most controlling. She didn't run. She escaped. Justice isn't always legal. Then came the messages. Friends screenshotting. Comments. Claire's sister crying on Instagram Live about how we all ignored the red flags. Her cousin tweeting that I weaponized the law. I stayed quiet until they showed up. Her mother and sister on my doorstep, uninvited. Her mother's mascara was running. Her sister filmed on her phone like she expected a confrontation. You're destroying her life. The mother screamed. You think this makes you strong? I didn't shout. I didn't flinch. I'm documenting this, I said, and every word you say helps me. I closed the door. Then I compiled it all, screenshots, messages, timestamps, footage from my security camera, and sent it to the district attorney's office. No drama, just evidence. Let them scream into the void. I don't fight with noise. I build cases. The conference room was sterile, no windows, just white walls and a single clock that ticked too loud. The assistant DA sat across from me. Flipping through the binder I brought, inside, a full timeline, bank records, travel logs, messages, and proof she opened a new account days before she vanished. It's thorough, he said. Looks deliberate. It was. I replied. She planned it like a heist. Left nothing behind, not even decency. Claire's attorney was already there. Young, overconfident, full of buzzwords. This wasn't fraud, he argued. It was an emotional breakdown. She panicked. Didn't know how to ask for space. I stayed silent until he finished his little speech. Then I spoke. She drained our joint savings at 3 a.m., booked a hotel under an alias, bought a ticket out of state. That's not panic. That's premeditation. He looked uncomfortable. She didn't just leave. I continued. She stole nearly 40 grand, lied to everyone, and tried to rewrite the story. The DA nodded. We're moving forward. I looked at her lawyer one last time. Tell her this. Actions have consequences, even for people who cry well. The plea deal came through 2 weeks before the trial. Claire pled guilty to felony theft and wire fraud. In exchange for avoiding a full trial, she agreed to repay every cent plus interest and serve 18 months in county jail with a permanent mark on her record. The judge read the terms aloud. She stood there in a gray blazer, hands folded, eyes downcast, no makeup, no crocodile tears this time. I didn't smile. I didn't flinch. When the gavel dropped, I felt nothing warm, just that deep, steady kind of satisfaction that doesn't ask for applause. Justice wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. Outside the courthouse, reporters lingered. But I kept walking, past them, past the whispers, past the last of it. No celebration, just quiet. I'd rebuilt everything she tried to shatter, and as I stood in the doorway of my new apartment, smaller, simpler, fully mine, I realized something. She took my past, but I took back my future. This was what freedom felt like, not revenge, restoration. Justice.